I'm about to post this video in a second. I just thought I would come on and say that I recorded the video yesterday, meaning that the fact that I said that the ISSU survey results come out today, it was yesterday, just so that you know that. And yeah, sorry guys for the use of my hands in every second of the clip. I just don't know how to speak, as you can even see right now, without using my hands as well. If you guys are new here, please subscribe and like this video if you agree. Also, the comments are completely open if you want to share any of your views on the Leaving Cert, or you can Instagram me at the very end of this video. I'll have my Instagram, so you guys can message me there if you want. Keep like facts in this, statistics in this, and yeah, opinions as well. Like, I'm going to share my opinion on the Leaving Cert. So yeah, so far I feel like people want clarity, and then there are people that think we have clarity, like we know the exams are going to go ahead on July 29th, I'm pretty sure it is, yeah, the 29th of July. But yeah, so people are arguing, I've seen like people, little like fights going on in the comments of media posts that are like, oh, like what more clarity do you want? Well, like, every other Leaving Cert class has known exactly what exams they have, on what days, the hour, like the length of each exam. And like we had a timetable for June, with the first exam being English or home ec, I'm not too sure. Yeah, well now it's all changed. It is not the same. It is totally different. We don't actually have, like, we don't know what the first exam is. We like the clarity, like, no, I hate the word clarity because it just keeps going around and people are like, oh, you have clarity, you don't have clarity. But the thing is, we still don't know what exams are when, or if the exams are going to go ahead. So first of all, I want to start at the beginning, and yeah, I've written out some notes here, just like what I've gotten from other people's videos, and then what I've gotten from like the media, what I've gotten from Joe McHugh, the Minister for Education, and then the Taoiseach, Leo Varadker, as well. So I've just written some stuff down so that I don't go off topic too much, or I don't start just talking about my opinion and not mentioning like the facts or what's happened so far. So now, at the start, schools closed, so that was kind of the first step in the direction of like the unknown, the uncertainty, because it has never happened before. Schools have never closed for this long. Schools have never just shut with like no real prior notice, like, and I feel like that was the start of like the worry, the stress, the effect on people's mental health, because it was such like no one had dealt with that before, like it was so unusual to us. And yeah, so I remember like that day and like the whole week before it, teachers were telling us, like I remember our class tutor telling us, like, start bringing books home, like we don't know if the schools would be closed. But like it seemed like maybe like we were all like, oh, like do the teachers know more than us, like how come they're telling us to like bring books home? Yeah, nothing's been announced about it. And it was the week where I think Leo Varadker was in America. I feel like he was in Washington, but yeah, so he wasn't even in the country, and it was announced on a Thursday, I'm pretty sure, that the schools were going to close for 2 weeks. Okay, so that was just announced, like it was so random. We had like 2 or 3 classes to like get all our stuff together. Like, in fairness, our teachers, like I remember the home ec class, and we had like, she gave us a double class to like go get our stuff from our lockers. Like it was just so weird. Like I remember like we didn't think it was going to be closed until the Leaving Cert, or like 2 weeks prior to Leaving Cert, whatever it will be, we still don't really know. But yeah, we were told it was going to be 2 weeks, meaning that we'd be back a week before Easter, and that didn't happen. But anyway, so I still think that like the way they started it was a bit weird. Like, why would they? And like he announced, I think it was in Washington, that he announced that they were going to be closed for 2 weeks. But it was just so strange, because like I found it so strange because it was like, it was so sudden, but we didn't really have time to like think it through, or like think that was our last day of school. If it was our last day of school, we didn't have time to think like I still don't have some of my books because I left them not thinking that we'd be gone like a whole until our Leaving Cert situation. So yeah, like I think it started off a bit rocky. But anyways, then like the lack of honesty, I think, is something that is a bit of a thing that I don't agree with. Like, so I'm gonna just start not reading, but I'm gonna just start looking at my notes. So first of all, yeah, the schools closed, and then they said, when the schools closed, they said the orals will go ahead. So no matter like if they don't go ahead on the same dates, like I remember it being like all in the media, all like it was announced the orals will go ahead as originally planned, so don't, like, they aren't cancelled, they're going ahead as originally planned, even if the schools were closed, I'm pretty sure they said. And like, that was a bit like, okay, like, at least we know they're going ahead. And like, then they were like, they're cancelled. And then they said all students will be given 100% for orals and the music practicals. So yeah, like, that was the start of the, like, in my head, they're not telling us the full truth. Like, how can they announce one thing and then, oh, actually it's this. I understand that obviously changes need to be made, so like, don't come for me and think like, oh, like, how can you, like, you can't expect everything to stay on track. Like, we're in a pandemic. I understand that like, not everything can be done what they, like, when they say it's going to be done. Like, plans change, obviously, I get that, but it just started, that for me, that was the start of the, like, lack of trust I have in the government, because I'm like, oh, if they could say that and then cancel them, give us full marks, then them saying now that the Leaving Cert is going ahead on the 29th, like, is it true? Are they going to go back on what they've said? That's kind of, for me, what I think. And then also, then Leo Varadker said, by hook or by crook, the exams are going ahead in June. So this was like before it had been announced that the change. But yeah, he was like, by hook or by crook, the exams are going ahead if at all possible. Like, they are going ahead, like, full on, just, yeah, they're going ahead June, the proposed dates. That's the clarity, because everyone was searching for, like, clarity for a, like, specific, definite exam date, and he decided to announce that they are going ahead as planned, as proposed, as originally said. And then, big whoop, he changed that, and now it's going to be postponed until the 29th of July. And like, that's another change that is being given to us, that we're, like, expected just to, like, keep getting these changes thrown at us, and just to understand that, just to accept it, I guess. And it's really just strange for me. Like, it's so weird, like, to have all these different things being thrown at me, just having the whole, like, Leaving Cert, the whole secondary school process, with the, like, main aim being the Leaving Cert at the end of it in June, and finished 2 months summer, or 2 or 3, I don't really know. But yeah, it's all changed, which is totally, like, obviously I'm not like, oh, like, how could they change it, like, go back to what it was, because obviously a pandemic is happening. Like, we can't ignore the fact that, like, health advisory committees, I don't know how to word that, but yeah, that, like, our health will be impacted if it wasn't change. Like, I'm not saying change isn't allowed to happen, or like that. I wish that it had been, like, normal. Like, I don't really like the idea of predicted grades, but in the situation we're in right now, for me personally, I would like predicted grades to be given. But then from watching other people's videos on this, and other people's thoughts, and other people's posts and articles in the media, like, I understand that there are students that disagree completely with the predicted grade system, and rightly so, because they were never told that that would be what would be used in the end. So how would they, like, how can people adapt to that? Like, and also I think it would be very difficult for teachers. But yeah, for me personally, I think that predicted grades is, like, not the only option, but I think it's, like, the right option. But I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with this video now, seeing as I've just thrown predicted grades out there as my preferred option. But the ISSU, as you all probably know, I don't know if everyone will know, had a survey out before, and 49% of the people that took that survey, I didn't take that survey because I didn't realise it was going around, but yeah, 49% wanted the predicted grade system, yet we just weren't listened to. And then I found it a bit weird how they literally just gave out the same survey. I don't know if it was the exact same, because as I said, I didn't do the last one, but they put out this new survey anyways, and the results just came out today, and I just have it written down. Yeah, so 23,694 people did that survey, and 78.6% said that they would like it cancelled and for predicted grades to be used instead, and then only 15.4% said that they would like to sit the exams in July. Like, if that doesn't show you guys what the people want, I don't really know what will. Like, are they just going to keep going out with these surveys? Like, it's kind of giving us false hope as to change is going to be made, when then also today it was announced that Joe McHugh, I think he said that the exams are still to go ahead in July as originally planned. Well, not originally planned, but as planned recently. And then yeah, I just don't really understand how they can keep going on with these surveys, and how meetings are going ahead, yeah, like, no changes are being made, or I think no like they keep mentioning contingency plans, yet we're not being told about what they are or how they will be put in place if plan A doesn't work out or isn't going ahead. Like I feel like there's a lot of stuff not being said or not being told to us, which I think is very unfair. So yeah, anytime. And also, I don't know if you guys seen, there was an Instagram live with Spun Out that Joe McHugh was in, and I just feel like watching that video, Joe McHugh literally swerved every question that was thrown at him. Any question that was asked, he seemed to be answering a different question. Like I don't know if he heard the questions right, or if he just didn't want to answer them properly, or if he just didn't know the answers, which is fair enough, but he never said, oh, I don't know the answers. Like he just swerved them completely, in my opinion. I think that anyways. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree, but yeah, he just kind of, on that live, he went on to say, like, when he was asked about why don't you use predicted grades with the people that were unhappy with that system could also sit the exams, which would, I think, would be the best option, because it would result in less people having to sit in the exam halls come July, which would obviously help with flattening the curve for the pandemic and for the coronavirus to minimize the spreading of the coronavirus. So I personally would love that option to be used. Obviously I understand that there are a lot of negatives, pros and cons to each scenario, but yeah, I would love that situation to be the final situation. But when he was asked about that, he literally just went on to argue with the fact that predicted grades are not good because some people would be unhappy with that. But then it's like, yeah, that's why we've said the people that are unhappy with that will be able to sit the exam. But he just ignored that side of the question, that side of the scenario, and just went on to disagree with predicted grades, which I just think is he's just quite narrow-minded, and I don't really agree with that. But I guess it is quite difficult for him. Everyone is looking at him for clarity, for the situation that's going to happen, and I guess he himself probably doesn't really know. He's never been faced with this. I do get that it's probably a very difficult situation. I don't envy him. I'm not I wouldn't like to be in his shoes right now. It's probably very difficult, but I feel like that's his job. He signed up for that, and obviously I know he didn't sign up to be the Minister for Education during the pandemic. No one has, but I feel like he needs to take it on. And I think that number one, he just needs to listen to the students as they talk, because we're sharing our opinions. I see a lot of posts, a lot of articles written and everything. The Leaving Cert students are not keeping quiet. We're not just letting it happen. We are sharing our opinions. We're taking part in these surveys. We're signing petitions. Yeah, everything is kind of just being ignored at the moment. But I feel like if we keep going, I don't think we should just be silenced and just take what's given to us, because I just feel like there's a lot of flaws in the system that they're deciding to go with, such as what was I gonna say? I can't remember. Yeah, so Joe McHugh has said that everything will be done to help the most vulnerable students. Oh yeah, so this is what I was gonna say. Sorry, sidetracked. Yeah, so he has said that, and I just think that it's not really possible to help the most vulnerable students in some cases. Obviously I think that they're trying. I know that there was a system in place where people that didn't have laptops were given them, and I think that is such a good thing. But there's also people that I know that don't have a good Wi-Fi connection. I myself don't have the best Wi-Fi because of the area in which I live, and I feel like it is just impossible to help every single Leaving Cert student in the country at the minute. There are definitely some people that have extra duties at home, that don't have a safe environment to study, they don't have time, they might be looking after siblings and stuff, and I just feel yeah, it's just really hard on students, and they need to take that into consideration a bit more. And then also I think that a huge problem I have with Joe McHugh is one of the things that he said is that the Leaving Cert students of 2020 should be treated like every other year. He said that in one of his announcements when they were announcing it to be held on the 29th of July. And I just think in his head, does he actually believe that we are being treated like every other year? How is that possible? First of all, no other year has to do online classes. No other year has ever had to do their exams on the 29th of July. It has never started that late. They've never been told a date and then it to be switched to the 29th of July. So working towards a date and then it to be changed and prolonged, that's never happened. It has never happened that they've gotten 100% in their orals. It's never happened that they have been out of school for so long. It's never happened, like, it's just all so different. It's never happened that a Leaving Cert to go on during a pandemic, a global pandemic, for like us all to be in lockdown. Like, it's never happened, so I don't see why he's saying to be treated like every other year when that's virtually impossible because of the differences that stand to us at the minute. So yeah, I just don't get the tradition that he keeps mentioning with the Leaving Cert, because it is like, it is so different, and like, you guys can obviously understand, no matter what you guys think, like, you can't sit there and say, oh, yous are being treated the exact same, because we're not. Like, we are not. So I just feel like it's not the truth, if you get me. And yeah, like, I think that there's only so much that we can say, there's only so much surveys we can fill out, there's only so much media posts that can be posted about this topic for it to be changed. I don't really understand what he's waiting for. There's also speculation that Fianna Fáil are going to go into government with Fine Gael. I'm not really a political person, like, I don't really look into it that much, but Fianna Fáil, I think, have came out as announcing that they are in favour of cancelling the Leaving Cert. So I don't really know how it's going to plan out, like, if they go into government together, like, who's going to have the deciding say, or how is it going to, like, pan out. I'm not too sure. Like, I know myself right now, I'm very unmotivated to study. Like, I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, why am I studying when the exams might be cancelled? Like, I'm not telling you guys to stop studying because they might be cancelled, like, I'm not saying that, but it is just really hard. And I think you can agree, like, with all the speculation in the media of predicted grades being used, and then with all the like posts being posted about predicted grades, it's just really unmotivating, and it's just really hard to focus on an exam that might not be happening, especially when clarity is being talked about. And we really, like, I feel like we're in the same place as we were at the start of this, with like just not knowing, because they've thrown out so many different like dates, so many different facts, and then they've changed, gone back on it, such as saying the orals were going ahead and then cancelling them. Another thing I don't understand is how the music practicals were awarded full marks, yet all the rest of the stuff, like, I understand that the date passed for that, but also with ag science, the date actually passed for our orals. I don't know if many people, if you don't do ag science, you might not know, but we have like an identification thing where an external examiner comes in and we have to like talk about the different like animals, plants and stuff like that, and experiments like out loud. Like, it's an oral exam, so I don't really understand why we weren't given full marks for that. It seems a bit unfair, like, it doesn't really add up. And then I also know that there's like an engineering and woodwork practical, but I don't know when the date for them is due. Like, I don't really know that, but I do know that the ag science one was due around the same time as the music one. So I feel like, did they just forget about the ag science? I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's pretty much all my opinions. I understand now I'm at 19 minutes, so I feel like I shouldn't like waffle on any longer. I've said what I needed to say. I'm just sharing my opinion. If you guys want to text me or in the comments like mention any thoughts that you had that I didn't mention or anything, like, feel free. I just feel like, yeah, we should all just talk about it. I feel like I would love if the media either stopped talking about it so much, as in like, you know, the posts that are like, oh, predicted grades to be used, and they're all just clickbait for like share like publicity, if you get me. Like, I just disagree with that completely. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I felt like just making this video purely to share my opinion, because I feel like keeping it in is just a bit getting to me, and I just wanted to speak about it, I guess. And if that means posting a YouTube video about it, that's what I'm gonna do, because you can do whatever you want on YouTube, you can post whatever you want, and I feel like this is just what I wanted to do, seeing as the ISSU survey results came out today. And yeah, I just thought I'd like share my opinion. I've seen posts about this, about the Leaving Cert on YouTube, and I really like how students are sharing their opinions, and we can all like see what other people think about it, because I think that's very important. I feel like the minister should acknowledge us talking about it and should take our opinions into consideration when deciding on what goes ahead. I'm not saying that predicted grades are going to be used, so don't like say, oh, she said, because I don't know, like, everyone doesn't know, but I really hope that they are, or that something is put in place, because at the minute I feel like it's just a bit uncertain to what's happening. I understand people are like, oh, you have clarity, it's going to be on the 29th of July, but how can we believe that when so much of what they've said in the past has been changed already? So yeah, that's just my opinion. I just thought I'd make this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys can relate to what I've said. I hope you guys, if you are doing the Leaving Cert, that it goes your way in the end. I hope everyone isn't worrying too much. I hope you guys are all feeling okay and that you are still going on with like your schoolwork, or if you're not, like that's totally fine, maybe take a break. And yeah, I hope everyone's okay. This is a bit of a weird video because I've never actually sat here and talked for so long. I felt like it might be too short or too long, so I'm not too sure if it is. I feel like I'm going to end it now in a minute just because I don't want to keep talking about stuff that I've already mentioned or just go off topic. So yeah, thanks for listening if you made it this far.